Yo, so for my custom feature, I chose controller implementation. I did this using my roommate's PS5 controller. I paired it with Bluetooth. And the reason I chose this and the reason it's important is for one, many, gaming consoles use controllers. So if they were to use my game engine, they would probably want to have controller implementation. But also just for PC games too, it's kind of more of a comfortability thing. Like for me, I grew up playing all my like first person shooter games with a controller and thus much more comfortable playing games like that. And on a controller, I'm just better at playing games, so it's easier for me and it's definitely nicer. But also, some games just don't really make sense to play on keyboard. Like for instance, like a Mario Kart type game or a racing type game. Like you could play it on a keyboard, but it just would be harder and not as seamless. So this was important to me, and because I always play my games on controller, so this is why I chose to implement it. And let's see that action real quick after we clean the build folder. Here we go. And there it is. Wow. Okay. I have to do it again. And there's the movement right there. As we can see, I don't have a second camera to show the controller in my hands, but this kind of movement would be hard to get with a keyboard. And you can hear the clicking of the joystick. And so, you're just gonna have to believe me. This is the PS5 controller. So there it is. And yeah, so how I did that is first of all, well, I guess while we're here, you can see that the binding right there for the bridge, the function I implemented that so what I did is that SDL supports controller support. So I looked up using ChatGPT, using the internet, how to add that, what SDL functions and keys to use. So I have the binding here that works with the Lua, but in my input class, so I'll pull up, we can see that I have this variable game controller, which is initialized to nothing, and then this function right here, get left stick, which would then, and then also I have, so first I'm all over the place, sorry. In my initialization, I initialize this controller right here, if there is one, if it detects one. If not, I get the error message. I know there's not one detected, but I didn't get one, so I knew there was one detected. And then down here, we have the actual get left stick function, using that game controller to then get the movement from Lua and then display it on there. So then I also had to change. So what I did is I took one of the test cases from homework 7 and edited that Lua code to support my function. So I'll pull that up. Pretty sure I got that right here. Yep. And so then we can see that we have that get left stick function right there that we initialize a variable with. And then the movement is then responds to that stick variable that we just declared, causing movement. So far I only have the left stick implemented, but obviously this is just all I have is left stick. And then what I want to add is button support, maybe the right stick for moving the camera, like right and left buttons. I mean, depending on what game that I have playing, and then also just want to finish off the rest of the homework so then I can incorporate, because then the buttons will be more useful for those homeworks in that game. So yeah, that's what I got on my plate. That's what it does, and thank you for watching.